Welcome to Soul Ascendancy, a space where we embark together on a profound journey of self-discovery. In this video, we explore the subtle yet powerful ways in which your higher self communicates with you. We will dive into the signs that may be guiding you, bringing you messages of growth, enlightenment, and wisdom from a realm beyond what we often perceive. So take a moment to relax, open your heart, and let's begin uncovering these mysterious signals that have always been there, patiently waiting for your attention. There's a deep, profound truth in the teachings that resonate across spiritual traditions, one that echoes through the ages and finds its way into the heart of many sacred texts. One of the most poignant ideas that emerge in the Bible is the concept of renewal and transformation, where we are called to shed our old selves and be reborn. It's not merely a call to change our external circumstances, but to undergo a spiritual transformation, a deep inner metamorphosis that aligns us with our divine purpose. In this context, the process of growth and letting go of relationships, attachments, and identities that no longer serve us reflects a divine wisdom that is not always immediately understood. But the Bible reminds us that such transformation is essential in fulfilling our higher calling. It is written, "Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new." 2 Corinthians 5:17. Just as the seed must die before it can sprout, we too must release what is no longer aligned with our higher self in order to embrace the fullness of life. This spiritual principle is timeless, an invitation to trust the divine guidance within, even when we cannot yet see the full picture unfolding before us. Before we dive deeper into the subject, I invite you to engage with this video. Please leave a comment below saying signs to share your experience with us. And don't forget to subscribe to the Soul Ascendancy channel so you don't miss any future content that can help illuminate your spiritual journey. The concept of our higher self is both deeply profound and somewhat elusive. It represents a higher, wiser part of ourselves that exists beyond the confines of time, space, and even a physical world. Though we may never have directly encountered this aspect of ourselves, its presence is very much real. Our higher self is ever present, waiting patiently for us to acknowledge it, guiding us through the complexities of our human experience. In this search for higher truth, we may feel lost or disconnected, unaware that this part of us is constantly sending us messages. Sometimes subtle, sometimes bold, but always aimed at leading us toward greater understanding and spiritual awakening. To think of the higher self as a presence that is just beyond our immediate perception is an intriguing idea. It's like an invisible hand that quietly nudges us, directing us toward paths that lead to fulfillment, inner peace, and enlightenment. Often, we overlook these signs because we are so caught up in the physical, emotional, and mental aspects of our existence. However, when we begin to open ourselves to these messages, we begin to notice that everything around us, every experience, every thought, every interaction, has meaning, all pointing us back to our higher self. At the core of this connection is an intricate dance between three dimensions of our existence: the physical, the spiritual, and the emotional. These dimensions are not separate. They are intrinsically linked, and one influences the other in profound ways. When we fail to recognize the unity between them, we might miss the subtle signs that our higher self is sending us. Yet, even in our ignorance, these messages continue to shape our reality, subtly guiding us toward the lessons we are meant to learn. The higher self is not demanding or forceful. It simply seeks our awareness. It asks for us to pay attention to the energies around us, to tune into the frequency of the universe that aligns with our true essence. Only through this awareness can we begin to discern what is truly beneficial for our soul's growth and what might be detrimental. Without this connection, we are like a ship adrift, unable to navigate the waters of our spiritual path. Now, let's explore some of the key signs that your higher self might be trying to reach you. These signs are not always dramatic or obvious. In fact, they often come to us in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. Yet, they're powerful indicators that our higher self is trying to capture our attention, urging us to wake up and take notice. The first sign is the world of vivid dreams. Dreams are not merely random creations of our subconscious mind. They can be a direct channel through which our higher self communicates with us. Often our higher self uses dreams to send messages that would be difficult to convey in waking life. These dreams can transcend the boundaries of time and space, bringing us experiences that feel deeply significant. They may offer insights into our past, present, or future, guiding us toward actions that align with our soul's purpose. Have you ever experienced a dream that felt so real, so meaningful, that it lingered in your mind for days afterward? This is your higher self reaching out to you, attempting to make a connection. For example, imagine that your dreams begin to reflect events that are happening in your life right now. Perhaps you dream of a challenge you are currently facing, and in the dream, you receive guidance on how to overcome it. This is not coincidence. This is your higher self communicating with you in the language of symbols, feelings, and sensations. Your dreams are trying to tell you something. Listen closely. Your sight is subtler but no less profound. Mirroring. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation with someone, and it seemed as though your words were perfectly mirroring theirs? It's as if you were speaking from the same consciousness, sharing the same thoughts, ideas, or emotions. This phenomenon, known as mirroring, can be a powerful indication that your higher self is trying to communicate with you through others. It's as though the universe is using external interactions to reflect back to you the truths that lie within. Mirroring often occurs when we need to hear something that we are not able to acknowledge on our own. Perhaps there is a truth within us that we are avoiding, or a lesson we need to learn. When we experience mirroring in conversations or encounters with others, it's as if our higher self is using these people as instruments to reveal hidden aspects of ourselves. These moments are invitations to stop, reflect, and pay attention to what is being communicated, not only through words but through the underlying energy of the exchange. To fully embrace and interpret these signs, it's essential to cultivate stillness. In quiet moments, when the noise of the world fades away, we create the space needed for our higher self to speak clearly. It's in these moments of stillness that we can hear the subtle whispers of our soul, guiding us toward the truth. When we slow down and tune in, the messages become unmistakable. The third sign is the presence of intuition. Intuition is a powerful gift that resides within all of us. It's a deep, inner knowing that transcends logic and reasoning. This intuitive guidance is often the first way our higher self communicates with us. It's that gut feeling that tells you when something isn't right, or when a particular path is aligned with your soul's purpose. Intuition doesn't just help us navigate our daily lives, it also serves as a messenger, alerting us to potential challenges or opportunities before they arise. For instance, imagine you're heading to work and have two routes to choose from. One is the usual path, while the other is unfamiliar and feels a bit uncertain. As you stand there, something inside you, a quiet, almost imperceptible feeling, guides you toward the less familiar route. You follow this hunch, only to find that your usual route is blocked due to an accident, and the alternative path you chose leads to a smooth and timely arrival. This is a simple example of how intuition guides us in the right direction. But intuition is not just about avoiding inconvenience. It's about making choices that align with your highest good, even when you don't fully understand why. It's your higher self offering you a subtle nudge, reminding you to trust your inner wisdom. Your intuition will also guide you through more complex situations, such as resolving conflicts or healing past wounds. It may not always lead to the easiest outcome, but it will always lead you toward growth. By listening to your intuition, you begin to align yourself more deeply with your higher self, finding clarity and purpose in every decision you make. These signs are not to be ignored. They are the whispers of your soul, guiding you on your spiritual path. Keep your heart open and your mind receptive, for the journey is just beginning. Have you ever stopped to consider the deeper, invisible forces at play in your life, guiding you, urging you to pay attention? These subtle nudges may come from within, from a place you cannot see but certainly feel. It is as if there's a force within you, beyond the surface, constantly trying to communicate with your conscious self. And this force, my friends, is none other than your higher self. It is an energy that resides deep within, waiting to be acknowledged. And when you begin to listen to it, when you open your heart and mind, you may find your life transforming in profound ways. The idea of the higher self is not just some esoteric belief. It is a reality, an integral part of your being. Yet, many people live their entire lives without being fully aware of its presence. It can be easy to overlook, especially in a world that often prioritizes the external, the material, and the physical. But what if your higher self has been speaking to you all along? Through the thoughts that cross your mind, through the emotions that surface within you, through the people you meet along the way, it has been trying to catch your attention. Have you noticed? So our higher selves communicate with us in ways that can be subtle yet powerful. One of the most profound ways this connection manifests is through our thoughts. These are not just random fleeting ideas. They are messages, signals, calls from your true self. Your thoughts can become an avenue for your higher self to guide you, to steer you in the right direction when you're unsure, or to nudge you towards decisions that are in alignment with your highest good. There is a profound connection between your thoughts and your spiritual beliefs. They are not separate entities, but rather they work in harmony to guide your journey. When you take time to reflect, to meditate, to be mindful, you allow yourself to access this deeper layer of consciousness where your higher self resides. But how do you know which thoughts are coming from your ego and which are coming from your higher self? The answer lies in listening closely. Your ego often feeds on fear, doubt, and insecurity, while your higher self speaks to you through wisdom, peace. Learning to discern the difference is key. Trusting the guidance that comes from within, especially when it resonates with your inner truth, will open doors you never imagined were possible. It is a delicate balance of self-awareness, trust, and surrender. The signs of your higher self are not always dramatic or overt. They are often found in the quiet moments of introspection, in the stillness when you allow yourself to just be. But sometimes, the connection to your higher self can be triggered by a feeling, an emotion that seems to come out of nowhere. Emotions can be a powerful indicator that your higher self is at work, whether it's an overwhelming wave of joy, a sense of deep sadness, or even moments of quiet contemplation. These feelings are not random. They are reflections of your inner world, and often they are trying to show you something important. Have you ever noticed that your emotions tend to intensify when you are on the brink of a breakthrough? Or perhaps when you are resisting something that you know deep down is part of your path? Your higher self communicates through these intense emotions, pushing you to face what you may be avoiding, or bringing clarity to what was once unclear. It is a form of spiritual guidance, urging you to look within and confront what may be holding you back from true growth. Another profound sign is the subtle yet powerful pull towards solitude. You may find yourself wanting to spend more time alone, seeking peace and quiet, and retreating from the busy chaos of life. At first, this may feel like an unusual desire to withdraw from the world. But in reality, it is often a call from your higher self to give you space for reflection and growth. Solitude offers you the opportunity to reconnect with your innermost self, to align with your spiritual essence. In this space, you can hear your higher self more clearly as the distractions of the outside world fade away. It is in these moments of stillness that true connection is made. Isolation is not a negative thing. It is a necessary part of spiritual growth. Sometimes, we need to distance ourselves from the noise, the expectations, and the influences of others to find our own voice. When you are alone, you are more open to receiving the messages that your higher self is sending. Embrace this solitude. It is not loneliness, but a time for transformation. Through it, you will gain clarity and insight into your purpose, your path, and the next steps you need to take. As you continue on this journey of self-discovery, you may also feel a strong urge to engage in practices that connect you to your higher self on a deeper level. One such practice is meditation. It's almost as if you can feel it calling you, this need to quiet the mind and go inward. Meditation is the bridge between the physical world and the spiritual realm. It allows you to step away from the distractions of daily life and reconnect with the true essence of who you are. During meditation, your mind becomes still, your body relaxes, and your spirit becomes more attuned to the energies around you. In this space, your higher self can speak to you without interference, and you are open to receiving guidance, wisdom, and clarity. Meditation helps to clear away the clutter that can accumulate in your mind and your heart. It creates space for you to heal, to grow, and to let go of the things that no longer serve you. The more you practice, the more connected you become to your inner truth, and the easier it becomes to navigate life with intention and purpose. Along with meditation, there's also a shift that may occur in the relationships in your life. As you evolve and grow, You may find that certain people no longer resonate with you. It is not that they are bad or negative, but they may no longer align with the person you are becoming. This is a natural part of your spiritual journey. The universe will guide you towards people who will support you, who will encourage your growth, and who will walk beside you as you continue to expand. Sometimes, this means letting go of relationships that no longer serve your highest good. The process of releasing old relationships can be challenging, as it stirs up emotions and fears, but trust that your higher self knows what is best for you. The more you embrace your own growth, the more you will attract people who support your path. Letting go is not an act of rejection. It is an act of self-love and self-respect. Your higher self knows that in order for you to fully step into your power, you must surround yourself with those who elevate you. Finally, one of the most profound signs that your higher self is reaching out to you is the overwhelming sense of inspiration and excitement about life. As you grow closer to your higher self, you will begin to feel a renewed sense of purpose, a deep drive to take action and create something meaningful in the world. You may feel a surge of energy, an inner knowing that now is the time to pursue your dreams, to start new projects, or to make bold moves. This is the awakening of your higher self, guiding you to embrace your fullest potential. When you feel this surge of inspiration, trust it. It is a powerful force that is pushing you toward your true purpose. The changes you experience are not random. They are divinely orchestrated to help you align with your soul's calling. The more you listen, the more you will find yourself stepping into a life that is fulfilling, aligned, and in harmony with your true self. As you reflect on these signs, I encourage you to comment below with the word signs and share your thoughts, experiences, and reflections with us. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, Soul Ascendancy, and join us on this transformative journey. You are not alone in this process, and by connecting with others who are also on this path, we can create a community of like-minded souls, supporting each other as we navigate the mysteries of our higher selves. As we draw deeper into the exploration of the higher self, it becomes evident that this journey is not a mere concept or abstract philosophy, but a profound reality of spiritual existence. The higher self is an integral, ever-present force, guiding us, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. It is not just a distant ideal, but a living, breathing energy that is connected to every aspect of our being. The truth is, your higher self has been calling you, whispering in your ear through moments of intuition, through bursts of inspiration, through the very fabric of your emotions. And now, as you embark on this deepening journey of self-discovery, it's time to acknowledge that your higher self is not something to be sought outside of you. It has always been within. What we often fail to recognize, particularly in the fast-paced, noisy rhythm of daily life, is that our higher self is always at work, quietly shaping our existence behind the scenes. It influences every thought we have, every emotional shift we experience, every challenge we face, and every moment of joy we encounter. While it may not always be visible or obvious, this divine presence is constantly orchestrating the unfolding of our lives, nudging us in subtle ways toward growth and evolution. Yet, because we live in a world full of distractions, our work, relationships, obligations, and constant pressure to meet external expectations, we tend to overlook or ignore the quiet voice of our higher self. We are so consumed by the demands of our external circumstances that we forget to pause, breathe, and listen to the inner wisdom that is always available to us. In the midst of our busy lives, it's easy to forget that we are not just physical beings, but spiritual ones as well, connected to a much deeper, wiser essence. The higher self doesn't shout at us or force us into action. Instead, it speaks to us in whispers, through subtle nudges and gentle signs that we often miss or dismiss. It communicates through moments of clarity, when our mind suddenly becomes clear and we gain insight into our current situation. It shows up through emotional shifts, when we feel inexplicably drawn to change our course, or when we experience moments of deep peace and knowing, even amid chaos. It can manifest in the pull towards solitude, a sudden need to retreat inward and reflect, as though our soul is calling us to listen more closely to our true desires and purpose. These quiet yet profound signs are often mistaken for mere coincidences or fleeting feelings, but they are actually invitations from our higher self urging us to step into our highest potential. For truth is, these moments of insight and emotional shifts are not random. They are part of the greater design of our lives, guiding us toward the path we are meant to follow. They are gentle reminders that we are not alone, that we are being supported by an inner force that wants the best for us. The more we start to recognize and honor these signs, the more we begin to align ourselves with the deeper purpose of our existence. It's only when we learn to tune in, to quiet the external noise and connect with our soul's wisdom, that we can truly embrace the fullness of our potential and the incredible power that lies within us. In this process of connecting with our higher self, it's important to recognize that it communicates through energy, not necessarily in ways we can see or touch in the physical world. The language of the higher self is not one of loud proclamations or dramatic events, but rather subtle, quiet movements that are often overlooked. These signals are felt deeply within our being, manifested in small shifts in our emotional state, the gentle changes in our thoughts, and the subtle adjustments in our actions. These are the channels through which the higher self communicates with us, guiding us toward our truest potential. However, the challenge here is learning to recognize and understand these signals, as they are not always easy to detect amidst the noise and distractions of everyday life. Source adds, the journey involves becoming more sensitive to the inner workings of our energy. We need to develop an awareness of the subtle shifts that occur within us. This is not about grand, visible changes, but about tuning into the delicate undercurrents of our thoughts and emotions. Our higher self speaks to us through this energy, and learning to attune ourselves to it requires practice and patience. It's about recognizing the differences between the impulses that come from our ego and those that emanate from our higher self. See, ego, driven by fear, insecurity, and doubt, often distorts our perception of reality. It can cloud our judgment and lead us to make decisions that are not aligned with our soul's purpose, guiding us down paths that may be driven by superficial desires or societal pressures. On the other hand, the higher self operates from a place of clarity, love, and truth. When we learn to separate the voice of the ego from the voice of our true self, we begin to understand the deeper messages our soul is trying to convey. This requires a level of discernment that comes only through practice and inner quiet. By learning to quiet the constant chatter of the mind, we can step back from the noise of everyday life and begin to tune into the still, gentle voice of our higher self. It speaks not through forceful demands but through subtle guidance, like a soft whisper, leading us toward the choices that align with our highest good. The more we cultivate this sensitivity to the energy of our thoughts and emotions, the clearer the connection with our higher self becomes. We start to recognize when our decisions are truly in alignment with our soul's path, and when they are merely reactions to the fears and insecurities of the ego. This discernment allows us to navigate life with greater wisdom and clarity, making decisions that are not driven by external influences, but by the quiet knowing of our true self. As we continue to practice this inner listening, we begin to move more confidently and authentically through life, guided by the steady presence of our higher self. Listening to the voice of our higher self requires intentional practice, tools that help us quiet the mind and cultivate the inner space necessary to tune into the subtle frequencies of our being. Mindfulness, meditation, and self-awareness are the cornerstones of this practice, each offering a unique way to connect with the deeper aspects of who we are. Without these tools, it can be incredibly difficult to hear the gentle whispers of our soul amidst the clamor of everyday life. We are so often swept up in the rush of external demands, the constant noise of our thoughts, and the distractions of the world around us, that we forget to stop and listen to the voice that has always been within us. To hear this voice more clearly, we must create the conditions for it to be heard. Meditation, in particular, is one of the most powerful practices we have for connecting with our higher self. It serves as a portal, allowing us to temporarily disconnect from the physical world and enter into a state of pure consciousness, free from the constraints of time and space. In the stillness of meditation, we can access realms beyond the material world, where the limitations of our everyday existence no longer apply. Here, we are able to transcend the noise of the mind and step into a space of deeper awareness, where we can be fully present with our thoughts, emotions, and the energy that flows through us. In this sacred space of meditation, we become open vessels, receptive to the subtle messages of our higher self. We no longer approach our thoughts with judgment or attachment. Instead, we allow them to flow through us without resistance. As we quiet the mind and open our heart, we create a space where the still, small voice of our higher self can be heard. This voice speaks not with force or urgency, but with a calm assurance, guiding us toward greater wisdom, deeper understanding, and a more profound connection to our soul's purpose. The beauty of meditation is that it doesn't require us to force or control the experience. It's not about striving to reach some ideal state of mind or seeking out specific answers. Rather, it's about creating the right conditions for insight to emerge naturally, by simply being present with ourselves. Without expectation or agenda, we allow the wisdom of our higher self to arise in its own time and form. It's through this practice that we begin to hear the gentle nudges that direct us toward alignment with our true path. Whether it's a feeling of peace that comes over us, a sudden insight that clears our confusion, or a deep sense of knowing that confirms we're on the right track, meditation opens the door to these experiences. But meditation is not the only way to tune into the higher self. Practicing mindfulness throughout our day also helps us stay attuned to the messages from within. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in each moment, paying attention to the thoughts, feelings, and sensations that arise without judgment. It's about observing our experience from a place of non-reactivity, allowing the flow of life to unfold without. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to notice the subtle shifts in our thoughts and emotions that signal the presence of our higher self. These shifts often appear as moments of clarity or sudden realizations, as well as changes in our emotional state that guide us toward the right decisions. Self-awareness is another essential tool. It's through self-awareness that we can begin to discern the difference between the voice of the ego and the voice of our higher self. The ego often speaks in the language of fear, insecurity, and attachment, leading us to make decisions based on external validation or short-term desires. The higher self, on the other hand, speaks in the language of truth, love, and wisdom, encouraging us to make choices that are in alignment with our soul's purpose. When we develop self-awareness, we become more attuned to these inner voices and can choose to follow the guidance that leads us to our highest good. The practice of mindfulness, meditation, and self-awareness allows us to cultivate a deeper connection with our higher self. It is through these practices that we can begin to hear the still, quiet voice that has always been within us, guiding us toward a more fulfilling and meaningful life. The higher self does not need to shout to be heard. It speaks in gentle whispers, urging us to take the next step on our journey, to align with our truth, and to embrace our soul's purpose. The more we listen to this voice, the more we step into our true power, living lives that are authentic, purposeful, and deeply connected to the divine wisdom within. As you reflect on the deeper connection with your higher self and begin to embrace the subtle signs it sends your way, I encourage you to take a moment to pause and think about how this message resonates with you. Are you beginning to notice these signs in your life? The synchronicities, the intuitive nudges, the emotional shifts. These are not just random occurrences. They are the whispers of your higher self, guiding you toward a path of greater alignment with your true purpose. If you found this video helpful and feel that the message speaks to you, I invite you to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences with these signs. I'd love to hear how you've noticed the higher self communicating with you in your own life. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join the Soul Ascendancy community. By subscribing, you'll stay connected with more content like this, designed to help you deepen your spiritual journey and embrace the transformative power of your higher self. So, take a moment, reflect on your own experiences, and leave a comment with the word signs to let me know that you're connecting with this message. Remember, this journey is one of growth and awakening, and we're all in this together. I look forward to reading your thoughts and continuing this journey alongside you. As we deepen our connection to our higher self, something profound begins to occur within the fabric of our lives. A shift in the way we relate to the world and the people around us. This change is often one of the most noticeable aspects of our spiritual journey. When we start to raise our consciousness and align more closely with our authentic higher selves, we may begin to sense that certain relationships no longer feel as fulfilling or meaningful as they once did. This isn't a reflection of personal judgment or a feeling of superiority. It's simply a natural consequence of our personal evolution. In the process of awakening and connecting more deeply with our true essence, we start to resonate with different energies. Our vibration begins to shift, and with it, our attraction to people and situations, those who share similar frequencies. Those who are aligned with the values, ideals, and energies that resonate with our higher self will naturally find their way into our lives. These individuals will feel more in sync with us, and the bond we share will feel authentic, nurturing, and supportive. We'll find ourselves naturally drawn to people who uplift us, encourage our growth, and help us to become the best version of ourselves. At the same time, we may notice that relationships with others, once meaningful, may begin to shift or dissolve altogether. This isn't about judgment or condemnation, but rather a reflection of the way energies interact. So the more we align with our true self, the more we naturally begin to attract those who are on the same wavelength. People who are not in resonance with this higher frequency may gradually fade from our lives. This could happen in many forms. Perhaps an old friendship feels distant, or a close connection begins to feel drained or uncomfortable. In some cases, these changes may happen without any dramatic confrontation or event. It's simply a natural part of our growth and transformation. While it may initially feel uncomfortable or even sad to see certain relationships change or dissolve, it is important to remember that this process is a sign of alignment with our true self. We are being guided toward relationships that serve our highest good, relationships that nurture our soul and contribute positively to our personal and spiritual growth. The relationships that we lose are often those that no longer serve our purpose, and their departure creates space for new connections to enter our lives. Connections that are more in harmony with our higher self. This process of energetic alignment is a crucial aspect of spiritual awakening, as it helps to ensure that we are surrounded by people who truly support our journey. This process of shifting relationships can be one of the most challenging and emotionally intense experiences in our spiritual journey. When we find that relationships, which once held great meaning and importance in our lives, begin to fade or dissolve, it can feel like a personal loss. These connections may have been an integral part of our past, and letting go of them may stir up feelings of sadness, confusion, or even guilt. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the dissolution of these relationships means something is wrong with us, or that we've failed in some way. However, this perspective only serves to block us from the deeper understanding that the universe is always guiding us toward our highest good. The truth is that the end of certain relationships is not a reflection of our inadequacies or personal failures. Rather, it's a powerful invitation to step into a new phase of growth and transformation. The act of releasing what no longer serves us is one of the most courageous and empowering steps we can take. It is a necessary part of spiritual awakening, our higher self, through the subtle and sometimes painful process of releasing, is clearing the path for us to step into a more authentic and fulfilling life. These shifts often occur when we are ready to evolve beyond certain attachments and patterns that no longer align with the person we are becoming. When we are able to embrace this process, we make space for new relationships. Relationships that will elevate us, inspire us, and support our journey toward greater spiritual awareness and personal fulfillment. The people who enter our lives at this stage are not here by accident. They are soul connections that resonate with our new frequency, individuals who are aligned with our higher purpose. These connections will challenge us, yes, but they will also encourage our growth, helping us to embody our true selves more fully. And trust in the process. Trust that the relationships you are releasing are simply making way for the ones that will bring you closer to your soul's purpose. These new connections may not always appear in the form we expect, and they may challenge us in ways we never anticipated, but they will always be for our highest good. As we open ourselves to this deeper understanding, we can begin to see the beauty and grace in the impermanence of relationships. Rather than fearing their dissolution, we can embrace it as an opportunity to continue our evolution. Let go of the past without regret, knowing that in doing so, we are clearing the way for something greater to enter our lives. This is the way of the higher self leading us forward, ever guiding us toward the light, toward fulfillment, and toward the love that exists in our truest, most authentic state. As we navigate this path, we may also find that we experience intense waves of emotion. These emotional surges can be both exhilarating and overwhelming, as they often bring to the surface deep, unresolved feelings from the past. These emotions are not random. They are deeply connected to the process of spiritual awakening. When we connect with our higher self, we also connect with a full spectrum of our emotional experiences. Our higher self brings to the surface the emotions that need healing, the parts of ourselves that require integration and understanding. In these moments of emotional intensity, it's important to remember that these feelings are not signs of weakness or instability. They are signs of deep transformation. The intensity of our emotions is a reflection of our inner growth, a signal that we are moving closer to our true selves. Your emotions such as sadness, anger, and even grief can be powerful catalysts for healing. They are opportunities for us to look within, to uncover the beliefs and patterns that have been holding us back and to release them once and for all. By embracing these emotions, we create the space for greater emotional freedom and spiritual clarity. At the same time, we may also experience moments of profound peace and joy. These moments are not fleeting or accidental. They are the result of deep spiritual alignment. When we are in sync with our higher self, we experience a sense of inner peace that transcends the external circumstances of our lives. It is a peace that comes from knowing that we are exactly where we need to be, that we are walking the path we are always meant to walk. In these moments of serenity, we are reminded of the beauty and grace of the journey we are on. Another important aspect of our connection to the higher self is the call to embrace solitude. Many people fear solitude, associating it with loneliness or isolation. However, solitude is a necessary and vital part of the spiritual journey. It is in solitude that we can hear the voice of our higher self most clearly. When we are alone, we are free from the distractions and influences of the outside world. We can dive deep into our inner world, exploring the vast expanse of our consciousness and aligning with our true essence. Solitude is not an absence of connection. It is a space where we reconnect with ourselves, where we rediscover our truth and purpose. In solitude, we can practice meditation, reflection, and introspection. We can tune into our higher self and receive the guidance we need to move forward on our path. This period of solitude may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if we are used to being surrounded by others. But with time, we come to understand that solitude is not something to be feared. It is a sacred space for growth and transformation. Throughout this journey, we may also feel a deep sense of inspiration and enthusiasm. As our connection to our higher self deepens, we become more attuned to the creative energy within us. We may feel a renewed sense of purpose, a drive to pursue our passions, to create, to innovate, and to explore new horizons. This surge of inspiration is a direct result of our higher self awakening within us. It is a sign that we are aligned with our soul's purpose, that we are walking the path of our highest potential. This inspiration can manifest in many different ways. It may manifest as a desire to start a new project, to begin a new creative endeavor, or to take a bold step toward a new career or relationship. The key is to trust the inspiration that arises within you. It is not random or accidental. It is the voice of your higher self urging you to take action, to step into your fullest potential. Embrace this inspiration, for it is a gift from the divine, a calling to step into a life of purpose and meaning. As you reflect on the signs that your higher self is reaching out to you, I encourage you to take a moment to consider how these signs are playing out in your own life. Are you experiencing emotional shifts, moments of deep insight, or a desire for solitude? Are you feeling a surge of inspiration or creativity? These are the signs of your higher self awakening within you, urging you to take the next step on your spiritual journey. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to comment below with the word signs and share your thoughts, experiences, and reflections with us. Your journey is unique, and by sharing your insights, you contribute to the collective wisdom of this community. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Soul Ascendancy, so you can continue to explore the depths of your higher self and connect with others who are on a similar path. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these signs and to explore the connection with your higher self. This journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Remember that you are not alone, and as you continue to listen, to trust, and to follow the guidance of your higher self, you will find yourself walking a path of greater fulfillment, peace, and purpose. Stay connected to your true self and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined.